Well, hey there, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys are having a great weekend so far. Now, I've been relatively busy the last number of days. We just started a new pool season, so we're back to kind of our busy time. And so I haven't really had a whole lot of time to get into the Babcock story. And with everything now that's kind of come out, I'm like, okay, I think I can probably talk a little bit about this now. Now, how did this all start? It all started when Mike Babcock apparently walked up to Blue Jackets captain Boone Jenner and asked him to show him his camera roll on his cell phone. Now, initially, you would think, okay, that seems harmless enough. I mean, maybe Babcock goes and opens his phone. Hey, check, look at these pictures of family or whatever. Hey, let's see what you got. Seemed harmless. It doesn't seem like it's anything that bad. Hey, look at family photos, whatever. Well, the news of this gets leaked to the guys at Spit and Chicklets, Paul Bissonnette and Ryan Whitney. And needless to say, it kind of took off from there. And Paul Bissonnette, went and said, this isn't cool. You shouldn't be, you shouldn't be doing this. And they even go and talk to Boone Jenner, and he basically said the same thing. He's like, no, this was, he didn't come up to me and demand that I show him, my pictures on my phone. He showed me some of his. Seemed harmless, but it took on a life of its own when the guys at Spit and Chicklets talked about it. And even with Boone Jenner coming back and saying, hey, there was no ill will here. There was no, nothing to this. Well, apparently a couple other players have kind of come out and said, and are like, yeah, this isn't cool. And this has drawn the NHLPA to come in. And the director of the NHLPA, they decided, the NHLPA wanted to do an investigation. They decided, okay, we need to look into this a little more further. We get one side saying, hey, there's nothing to this, but here's a couple others saying, this isn't kosher here. So the NHLPA comes out and they're doing an investigation. And so Marty Walsh, the director of the NHLPA, along with Ron Hainsey and NHLPA General Counsel Don Zavello, they met with other NHL officials at the league offices to try to, figure out, okay, what's our next move? How do we coordinate here, to make, to do the next step here? Well, apparently, and they apparently were meeting with other players and staff of the Blue Jackets, and they were all kind of like, oh, it's, they weren't exactly too comfortable with it. But it's interesting, as Mike Babcock said, he's like, hey, I asked him to share some of the stuff off their phones, family pictures, whatever, because he's new there. This is his first year coaching. He doesn't know these guys. He wants to get to know them. He wants to get to know, their families and that, and, this, that, and the other. So we're thinking, and that doesn't sound like it's anything bad. I mean, you want to get to know, you want to get to know the guys that you're about to start coaching here in another 2.5 weeks. Well, needless to say, with people saying, well, there's nothing to this, that kind of it kind of puts the guys on spit and chicklets. It kind of knocks them down a little bit, because they're like, apparently they jumped on a story that didn't really look like it had anything to it. That it just, hey, he's wanting to get to know the players, because he's the new guy there, and he's just wanting to get to know his team. Again, that doesn't sound like anything bad. And it's kind of odd, because I mean, when the main guy involved comes out and says there was nothing wrong with this, he didn't demand that I show him my camera. He just, we were looking at family photos. He's wanting to get to know us as a team. I mean, even Johnny Gaudreau came out and said, no, I had a fantastic meeting with him. This is crap, basically. But other people have, come out and said that, this is, a little odd. And, and there's been accusations about, Babcock when he was coaching Detroit, when he was coaching Toronto, being not, apparently not, not being nice to players. I mean, you're a coach, your players, if your players are playing like crap, you're gonna yell at them, you're gonna scream at them. That's part of coaching. Well, some players don't like that, and so there's been talk of the fact that he mentally abuses the players, and he does, and it just it puts a bad it puts a bad vibe in the locker room. Now again, if I don't know. I mean, if you're a coach, you got to do what you can to get to know your team, to try to get the best out of your team. And if your team is playing we see this with John Tortorella all the time. John Tortorella, his team plays like crap. What do you think he's doing? You thinking he's just sitting back, just not saying anything? No. Guaranteed not. And we've heard Tortorella, he's come out of the, he's come out of that locker room freaking, he's breathing fire and brimstone, and he goes out to the post-game press conferences, and he said, yeah, this guy stunk. That guy, he's terrible. Nobody talks about that being a bad thing. At least, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's kind of entertaining. When you got a coach going and saying, I've seen kids play better defense than him. I gotta get a kick out of that. I kind of find it funny. But, nowadays in the NHL, it's, a lot of the players, they don't like that kind of stuff. And when Babcock was in Toronto, apparently his coaching tactics weren't considered great. As Brendan Shanahan had said, they weren't appropriate or acceptable. Because the NHL has changed. It's definitely different now than it was even 10 years ago. So, it's Babcock being kind of an old school coach. And yeah, some of the stuff that he has probably done, it won't necessarily work. But it's interesting. I mean, he hasn't even coached a game yet. And there's talk of his job being on the line, depending on where this investigation goes, or just how much further it goes. But it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it was anything nefarious here. But when you get a couple other, you get a couple of you get a couple other people go and say, yeah, this seems kind of weird. And then, just when you think, okay, they've done the investigation. Okay, nothing to see here. They're sharing family photos, Well, after, some staff and that talking to the NHLPA and the league, they come out and said, we don't know. We don't really, that doesn't seem like it's all on the up and up. So, it's interesting that, he hasn't even played a game yet, and there's potential he might lose his job. I don't know. I think it's kind of, I don't think it was anything bad. I'm old enough, to know, a lot of times, coaches, they have a way of trying to get their team motivated, or whatever, or in this case, you're trying to get to know your team. He's never coached these guys. He just came in. He's going to start coaching them here in another couple of weeks. And so, yeah, he's wanting to get to know the team. He's wanting to build a relationship with his team, with his players, and showing family photos. I mean, what? I don't see anything. I don't see anything wrong with that, especially when you have Boone Jenner, who was the one that this centers around, and even he came out and said, There's nothing wrong here. I don't know what y'all are. I don't know what you guys are complaining about. Because like you said, he's trying to get to know his team, new players, and I don't know. I think it's. I can kind of see. It's one thing if you go and you demand to see your player's phone. Okay, if you go and walk up and say, yeah, I give me that phone. I need to see that phone. And he goes rummaging through it. That's one thing. But it's another thing, if they're having a nice conversation, they talk about family stuff, and all of a sudden, Babcock maybe pulls out his phone. He's like, "Yeah, here, look at our vacation photos, and stuff like that." And then, Boone Jenner pulls out his phone. "Oh yeah, this is where we went," and stuff like that. And then for somebody to go out and tell Paul Bissonnette and spit and chiclets, God, I keep almost messing that name up. But then it develops a life of its own after Bissonnette gets told this, and it gets to a point where Babcock and Boone Jenner and the Blue Jackets they have to come out with a joint statement saying, no, there was nothing wrong here. He didn't demand that I give him my phone. We were just showing pictures. We were showing family photos, family pictures of, whenever we were on vacation or wherever they were at. And he said there's nothing to this. Well, then, the NHL and the NHLPA, okay, let's just take a look at it. And, again, it doesn't seem like, there's anything untoward here. Well, and then you get a couple, you get some other staff, and that's saying, yeah, I don't know, they didn't feel comfortable with it. So now, it's getting into all this other stuff, and it's getting into the weeds. And I don't know. I think it's interesting, though, that it is entirely possible that he might lose his job. He might lose his job over this without even coaching a game. I mean, I honestly, I don't think the Blue Jackets will fire him based on this, but it's interesting. And just, the fact that, obviously the players have a right to privacy. But, if you're freely showing pictures of, a family or whatever, it's only natural then that, hey, well, let's here's some of my pictures. But just the fact that, the fact that apparently he asked, that's the big thing. If he came out and asked, that's when they say, okay, that's violating privacy and all that, where, again, I don't see any real problem with this, but I can see where some other people might, because, yeah, it is a privacy thing, everybody's got the right to privacy, right? So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but you would honestly think when you talk to the other party involved, and the other party goes and says, "There's nothing to this. We were exchanging photos. We were showing photos of, he was showing photos of his family. I was showing him photos of my family. There's nothing to it. That's all it should have been. Right there, that done. But no, it's kind of developed a life of its own, and yeah, it's entirely possible that Babcock could lose his job over this. I don't know where else this goes, but I don't know. I'd love to know, though, what you guys think. What do you guys think of this situation? Are you on the side? Are you on the side of Boone Jenner and saying, "Hey, there was nothing to this. We were just looking at family photos, and he's just wanting to get to know his team," or do you think Babcock stepped over the line by asking to see his phone? Now, call me crazy, if somebody, oh yeah, can I see your phone? And be like, why? Like, why? Why would you need to see my phone? Why do you want to see my phone? But, if he voluntarily, opens his phone and he's showing pictures and like you said, just trying to get to know his team, I don't see anything really to this, but it could develop into something. Now, unless more comes out, unless there's other issues that happen, I don't think there was a whole lot there. It's a new coach trying to get to know his team, and showing family photos and that, and like I said, when you have Boone Jenner himself, who is quote, the victim, when he comes out and said, this is BS. You know, there was nothing, there was nothing nefarious here. There was nothing, you know, this wasn't anything bad. We were just looking at family photos. You know, our families were on vacation. We were showing, oh, hey, here's where we went. Hey, here's where we went. He's trying to get to know his team. And this has been made into a heck of a story, and I don't know, we'll have to see where it goes from there, or from here, but I don't see Babcock losing his job. I could see the NHLPA going and telling him, or even telling the players, you know, unless you yourself voluntarily open your phone to show pictures, you know, don't ask to see the other's phone. Don't ask, if you're going to show somebody your phone, make sure you're doing it voluntarily. So, again, I don't see Babcock losing his job, but we'll see. But let me know what you guys think. I'd love to know what you guys think. You know, do you think there's no there? Or, you know, do you think, you know, that Babcock deliberately, you know, tried to get into his captain's phone and do whatever? I'd love to know what you guys think. And this is definitely an interesting story, and we'll have to see where it goes from here. But I'm one who's like, I don't see a lot wrong with it. I don't see a lot wrong with, you know, sharing family photos, you know. But some people, you know, some people do. But let me know what you guys think. Are you guys on the side of Boone Jenner, saying there was nothing wrong here? Or do you think Babcock was in the wrong by, you know, wanting to potentially see, you know, pictures of Boone Jenner's family? Let me know what you guys think. I would love to definitely hear your guys' opinions. And yeah, I thank you guys for being here. If you were new to the channel, thank you for being here. If you're new to hockey in general, I'm so happy you found the channel, and hopefully you enjoyed the videos. Go check out some of the other videos on the channel. And you know, it would be greatly appreciated if you would hit the like button. If you like the video, if you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified anytime future videos are uploaded, you can tap the little bell icon, and you will be notified anytime a video of mine is uploaded. You'll probably even get a notification for, you know, when it might be scheduled to go live. And yeah, so, you know, if you enjoy the content, hit that like button, hit subscribe. I welcome everybody. You know, my channel, it's a big giant tent. You know, I want every hockey fan out there, come on in. You know, I welcome everybody. So let me know what you guys think on this situation. Was Babcock in the wrong, or is this basically a big nothing burger? Let me know what you guys think. Hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I will see you guys later.